Hi, good morning and welcome back to the channel. Might not be morning where you're watching, but it's morning for me. It is day 7 of our American Cancer Society 300 Miles of August challenge. We are currently sitting at 142 miles complete, so almost halfway. So today, 8 miles gets us halfway. Spoiler alert, I'm already 5.5 miles into the ride. I saved you from having to watch me ride into the park this morning. But yeah, we're in the park. I took a little bit of a later start to get going today. So my right knee was bothering me when I woke up this morning. There's the eagle. Remember I told you there was like an eagle sculpture in here? There's a good picture of the eagle sculpture. There are eagle nests over here, so this is what the eagle nest area is of the park. And so that's why there's an eagle there. Anyways, right knee was bothering me a little bit when I woke up this morning, so I kind of did some stretching and some exercising to loosen it up and see how it was going to deal. And it turned out okay, so I decided, well, it's time to hit the path and get going. So we are in here today. For a little while, I'm not gonna lie, I thought about phoning it in today and just saying, okay, well, I'm not going out today because of the knee. But then that, we're 8 miles from halfway kicked in, and I said, all right, well, we're gonna go. It is Saturday, which means normally the park would be pretty busy. Don't know, because yesterday when we rode through the campgrounds, it was empty. And with a lot of schools starting back this week or the upcoming week, it might be that a lot of people are done for the summer and we'll get that one last Labor Day push. But for now, not as many people down here. Morning. All right. Little eagle observation platform there. So you can check out the trees and see if there are any roosts in there. There's another nest down here where the little creek comes over the road. If I remember, I'll look up at it. The turtle people seem to think that there is an eagle nested in it. So I don't know if you can see it. Looks like there's one right in that tree up there, sitting on the tree. Or is that a, yeah. Got that white head. Morning, man. Doing all right? Have a good run. Anyways, back to the ride. Today, I don't know about today. This is another one of those let the body dictate what we do. Obviously, I'd like to get 26, 27 miles in because I'm greedy. Morning. Breaking the law, breaking the law. On your left. Have a good ride or walk, whatever. My words don't come out right sometimes. So, I think what I want to do, because my knee's bothering me today, is do a loop around Lake Shelby. Very similar to what we did the other day. Ride back out. That'll give me some, I don't know, 20 miles. 16, 17, 20, I don't know. It gives me a decent amount of mileage. And then I can maybe ride down Fort Morgan to Shellbanks. It will all depend on how my knee feels and how my body feels. We'll just play it out. I know I don't want to ride. It's one of those days where I just don't feel comfortable riding all the way to the back of the state park and doing shenanigans back there, which I had some shenanigans planned for today, but I think we'll hold those off for another day. We'll just have a nice, somewhat leisurely bike ride around the lake, out the back of the state park, around the high school, Meyer Park. Y'all are probably getting used to that route now. And then we'll head down to the church, and from there we'll go. So that nest up there, the lady the other day was saying it was an eagle in there, but the bill on that, I'm not sure. I can't tell 100% from here. I'm no ornithologist either, so maybe it is. Maybe it's just a predator, I don't know. Ooh, sulfury smell today. Thing about Saturdays, there'll be a lot of people in the park. Joggers, bikers, stuff like that. Morning. Doing all right? Yeah, man. Good. Have a good day. Good morning. Just gonna pass you on your left. Y'all have a good run. On your left, fellas. Have a good day. Anybody see that Facebook video yesterday that came out where The family is in their yard. Mother, father at the back of a car. Little kid down on the ground. Then all of a sudden, the little kid bolts out towards the street, and there's a biker comes on the sidewalk and ends up going into the dirt and grass to avoid the little kid who runs out to the sidewalk, right? And of course, the poster on the video is the father of the child, all irate about the fact that e-bikes are so unsafe, that this guy on an e-bike was going full send and could have run his child over. Sidewalks are for pedestrians, not for bicycles, and all this hate for e-bikes, and he's quoting statistics about the number of e-bike related injuries and all this other stuff, and how it's increased 200% over the last year, and blah, 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 blah. Just, he's spewing every hate statistic you can find that's out there from the We Hate E-Bikes community. And you know, I've watched the video a couple of times, and my first reaction was, that could have been a 10-speed. That could have been a kid on a BMX bike. That could have been anybody riding that bike, any bicycle, at the speed that that guy was going. He wasn't going no 28 miles an hour. He was probably going 12, 15. That could have been any bike. So stop the hate immediately on the e-bike. Number one. Number two, you let your kid run up to the street like that, and of course the guy puts out a video later that says, all you people who question me as a parent and the fact that my kid ran up to the sidewalk, and he's been trained. He stops at the sidewalk. He walks up if he walks anywhere. He's been trained not to go into the street. Okay, but he hasn't been trained to look out for bikes coming the other way, because he could have just as easily walked out in front of a bike going 5 miles an hour or 10 miles an hour, let alone an e-bike. Let's blame everybody else but you. And I think the cyclist did a really good job of avoiding the kid. And if your kid's so well trained not to run out there into traffic or into anything, is he not trained to look both ways before he walks into the sidewalk? Is it okay for him to just step in front of somebody jogging down the sidewalk and cause them to have to change where their position on the sidewalk is or anything? I mean, it's courtesy, right? Teach your kid not to step onto the sidewalk unless it's clear. I know. Oh, that's unreasonable. Good morning. Ooh, that sun's bright. Like, I knew that girl was there. I could see her. I just couldn't, like, she's lost in the sun. That could be my old vision. Like I said, I need sunglasses that transition to welder's glasses. Morning.
Morning.
I don't know. It's just the anti e-bike hate is so ridiculous right now. And the statistics are what kill me. There's a 200% uptick in the number of injuries reported at hospitals on e-bikes. Okay. Could that be because more people are riding e-bikes than last year? Sales data says that. Sales data shows that there's an uptick in the number of people that own an e-bike, and it's gradually going up year after year after year, especially with some of these cheaper e-bikes coming on the market where people can afford to get an e-bike for $700-800. So some of these numbers are convenient to cause alarm, but they're probably also, those numbers are also a little bit out of context when you think about the number of people that are buying e-bikes these days and getting into e-biking. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter if you're on a bike or an e-bike, eventually you're gonna have an accident. You're gonna do something stupid, you're gonna grab the wrong brake or throttle, or, well, not throttle, but you're gonna grab the wrong brake and lock your front tire up by accident. Good morning. I did it the other day. I didn't fall, but I almost fell. I flat out grabbed the front gear or the front brake a little too much, and I did it while I was going into a turn at low speed too. Like, that's the thing. Just because I was on an e-bike doesn't mean it's an e-bike issue. It just means I had an accident, right? If I had a dumped, it would have been because I'm stupid. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that I was riding an e-bike, because I was coming around Meyer Park on my way into the coming into the state park the same way I came in today and how I will exit out of here. So I was coming around the park and I was getting ready on the south east corner turn to go towards the high school. And it's a sharp turn back, right? So I was going extremely slow, and I just put too much brake on while I was, turning to make that sharp turn. And I almost dumped the bike. That's not anything to do with the style of bike I was riding. That's operator error. So if I dumped it, broke my arm, and went to the hospital, technically, I would be another e-bike accident. It'd be another injury because of an e-bike. Nah, it wasn't because of the e-bike. The far-fetched stretch you would have to do to get to the fact that it was because of the e-bike would be to say, well, Count Paul's fat, and he wouldn't be riding that e-bike, or he wouldn't be out riding a bicycle if it wasn't for the e-bike, because he's too fat to ride an analog bike. You'd have to make that accusation. I'm not going to say that accusation's not true, but it's not 100% true. I have wanted to get back into riding a bike for a while. But at my weight, finding an analog bike that is designed to carry a heavier rider is hard to find. I had one, 10, 12 years ago. I did have a bike that I was riding for, I don't know, I might have rode it for a couple of months. Not more than one season. I kind of accidentally set it on fire. And so yeah, it didn't last real long. That would have been back around 2011. And I was in a diet mode. I was losing weight. And I had shed a lot of weight and got down to somewhere where I felt like I could buy a bike. I had found one that would allegedly support my weight. It was sort of like a mountain bike type bike, aluminum frame, and it was good. I rode it, and I would ride it up and down West Beach. And then one day it was too close to the barbecue grill and caught on fire. Morning. And that was the end of the bike riding, because it like messed up the rims. The tire blew, melted the tire. The rims were messed up. A lot of stuff on it was messed up. The derailleur was toast, and it was just a big write-off at that point. And but yeah, if I could find a bike like that, a road bike or something that supports my weight, I would love to ride that. I mean, my hope is, having gotten back into riding and enjoying it as much as I am right now, my hope is that I'll lose a bit more weight, and at some point, if this bike poops the bed and it's advantageous for me to buy a road bike or a gravel bike, I might do that. And then I can not have to worry so much about mileage and batteries, right? I mean, that's my biggest hang up right now on distance is my battery. I'm constantly looking at what battery percentage I have left. And that's a big, determining factor in how far I ride. And my bike doesn't get the greatest mileage on my battery. One, because it's a fat tire bike. And two, because it's got a fat rider. And it's huffing and hauling the mail, right? And that tends to drain the battery a little bit more. I try to be really, really conservative with how much power usage I do, especially in the beginning stages of my ride. And then later on, that way I have plenty of power left over at the end of the ride for to compensate for fatigue or injury or anything else like that, right? Back where we started. Because that's the one great thing about an e-bike, is if I get injured along the way, I can motor back if I got the power. All right. So I came through here yesterday. You didn't get to see that because my camera shut off on me. That was a shocker. But yeah, I don't know. As I ride this, I romanticize about what it would be like to own a regular bike and be able to go long distances eventually. Lose a lot of weight, and so my butt doesn't hurt as much, and then get something that if I want to do a long ride, I can do a long ride. But I got a long ways to go before we get there. There might be a couple of bikes in my future before I get to that point. The next step would probably be to get something that's more of a commuter style bike, not a fat tire, something with a more narrow tire on it. Get off my butt for a second. So that I would have that to ride, something that's maybe got a battery in it, or has a battery in it, I would say. You know, something that's an e-bike commuter that is lighter weight, narrower tire, has less rolling resistance, and, you know, designed to be ridden distance. This thing's just a tank built to haul a lot of weight. I think this thing's capacity is like 560. It's advertised as like a backcountry hunting companion. You haul a trailer behind it and go bike camping, I guess. Extreme outdoorsman. But if you're gonna go extreme outdoorsman hunting with this thing, I hope you've got a jackery or something that you're towing behind you on a trailer. Because you're gonna need power somewhere to charge that battery. And there is no like regenerative on the bike, so you're not getting power back when you're braking, or so you're gonna have to have a power source somewhere. So you've either got to have a couple of batteries and some sort of solar system if you're gonna go off-road backpacking, bike packing, or whatever. But like I said, that's one of those things. It's a pipe dream. It's not really a pipe dream as much as it's just a dream. It's just a what if. What if I lose a whole bunch of weight and get in the shape where I could road bike? I think I would enjoy it. Definitely enjoying the scenario I have going right now. So, and I definitely get frustrated when I realize I can't continue on because I don't have any more battery going. All right, we transition over to the sidewalk once again. In case anybody's new to the channel and watching, I have to ride up this sidewalk to get to the traffic signal here because as stated, I am heavy, but I ain't heavy enough to trigger that traffic light, and it's not on a camera system. So could I have just gone on across right there? Probably so, and I would have saved all those people from having to stop, but you know, is what it is. And then we're gonna switch right back across to the other side because there's no way to get across the road up here on the left-hand side of the road to where we're going. So we kind of have to be over here. You have to do some shenanigans to get across there. Tacky Jacks on Canal and Gulf Shores. Some apartments. Then the Acme Oyster House. And then vacant lot, as discussed the other day. Let's go down here and look across the waterway at Lulu's. You can see the distance from that tower there over to Lulu's. Who is going to park on this side of the waterway, walk across a bridge, and then walk to Lulu's? I just don't see it. Maybe that's the fat guy in me. I don't know. Awful lot of fat people in this down here vacation, just saying. Awful lot of out of shape people that come down here vacationing. There was also an awful lot of glass back there on the ground. I hope I didn't pick any of it up in my tire. All right. Technically, I'm not supposed to ride on the sidewalk here, but I do it up to this intersection just because this intersection is kind of funky. And then I'll jump back into the road right up about where that guy's at. Use that driveway to jump over. But I'm going to go a little bit early next time. Morning. Let's go a little bit different way today. We go up and turn a whole lot. Let's go this way. Right up around the park, and then we'll jump on Clubhouse, ride Clubhouse to Regency. And then we'll head down the Fort Morgan Road Trail. Oops, I didn't want to do this. Yeah, we'll ride this way. I normally go up and around the back of the Bodenheimer. We've never gone this way. We'll go around the front side of Bodenheimer. Morning. I wonder if that's the butterfly garden right there. Or if it's just a flower garden. It says it's behind the museum, and that's sort of behind the museum. Pictures I've seen of it showed it was a bit bigger than that, though. I'm being a responsible rider and riding nice and slow through this area. Because Lord knows there's 800 flock cameras right here that'll capture me if I do anything. It's not 1984, but it's pretty close. Yeah. Smile for the flock camera. Ah. This is Clubhouse, which leads up to the golf course, obviously. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. All right. Hello. Y'all doing all right? Good. I hadn't run into y'all in a couple of days. How y'all doing? I'm all right. Oh, man. Morning. I don't know how people ride those. I tried to use the recumbent bike at the gym one time. I just couldn't stand it. It was just an unnatural feeling. Morning. Morning. Oops. Forgot I'm not supposed to do that anymore. Morning. So we'll see at this point how the knee feels as we move through here. We need to pick up about 5 more miles to get to 20. I would like to get, let's say, down the Shell Banks. That would be like 14 miles total. Coming back. There's our church. That beautiful garden. Morning. Hadn't been down this way since we got stung the other day. Let's hope that doesn't happen ever again. So depending on how this goes, this could be the longest ride that I've posted on the channel. Not gonna count my chickens before they hatch, but if I can get to Shell Banks, that would put me close to 20 to 30 miles. Be pretty great. Morning. And that would really be good. I need like, what, 7 miles and some change above 25 to get myself out of the deficit I'm in. Because my goal was to do like 25 miles a day. And I've only been able to do that a couple of days. So, man, if I put 32 miles on today, I'd be out of the deficit. I'd be on a 25 mile average at that point. Which would be pretty neat. Morning. Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Doing all right? I'm doing good. Good morning. I'm trying to figure out what them women were doing back there with the eggs. The woman in the turtle shirt had a thing of eggs, and the other woman had a thing of eggs. It's like, what are they doing? Are they going to bury eggs and hope that chickens come out of the ground like turtles? That'd be an interesting sight. All right. Looking at my battery, I think I'm okay to run this distance. I've got 57% battery right now. As long as I stay off the throttle. And do a whole lot of leg pedaling, we'll be all right. Good morning. Morning. Hey guys. Morning. I'll pass y'all on the left. Have a good walk. I'm gonna stop for a second. I want to see where I'm at. Numbers wise. 19.95. All right. Now, my left knee is starting to bother me a little bit, but I'm gonna push on. I want to rack up a good number today. Shell banks it is. Shell banks or bust. Ooh, feels good right through here. Morning. Somebody burning something. Ooh, that was a good little trek. Just trying to push through this. Oh shit. I hate snakes. And he turned around like he was gonna snap back at me. I don't know why, I've always had a phobia of snakes. I had friends who they'd pick up whatever snake they wanted to. They didn't care one bit. Me, I just did not like them. And I have the worst luck with finding them. I went fishing one day on this lake. On your left. Morning. Morning. Anyways, I went fishing on this lake one time, and big lake, but it was a natural lake. It wasn't like one of these recreational lakes where everybody has houses on them and everything. It was state park land, lake, and you had to just hike around on the shoreline of the lake. If you wanted to go fish somewhere, you just kind of had to walk through the woods to get to a place to fish. And most of them had a trail that was fairly well beat down. But I went down this thing and found this old man back in the back fishing, and I went right past him. He was fishing kind of where I wanted to fish, right? So to be polite, I walked a little bit further down around the corner from him where hadn't nobody been, and was gonna set up and fish there. Got my rod out and everything, and I got ready to cast out. You know, you just to make sure I didn't hit a tree or anything when I cast out, I just kind of looked back over my right hand shoulder, and I was staring face to face with a copperhead that was sitting up in a tree. And that was the end of that fishing trip. I came hoofing it out of there, and the old man looked at me. He's like, "Give up?" I was like, "Nah, run off." I told him. He was like, "I'm gonna go over there and kill that snake." Like, I don't think you're supposed to on state property. But anyways, all right. So we are here at Shellbanks, which, if I remember correctly, Shellbanks is 14 miles, is a 14-mile trip. So, looking at where I'm at right now, I'm at 22.6, and I was at 16 something. So, that's about 6 miles we've covered. So the ride back would get us in the neighborhood of 28 miles, which is good. I've got 48% left on my battery. Decisions. Do we go a little bit further, or do we take 28 to the bank? Just not sure. I think I'm gonna head back because my knee is sore, and I would like to get the ride done instead of pushing a little bit further. But man, 30 miles would be a nice number to jot down on paper. And yeah, screw it, go big or go home. Hi, I gotta pass you again, sorry. All right. Well, morning. Stupid thoughts running through my head right now. Oh, if you're gonna go to Jesse's, you might as well go all the way to the end. Sometimes it seems like the harder I go, the better my knee feels. Good morning. How are you? Good. Like I said yesterday, stupid thoughts. I can rationalize them and, yeah, that's a pretty stupid idea. And then go, let's do it anyways. Morning. Oh. I wonder how long I've been riding. How much recording space I got left on my camera. Wonder if my camera's still recording. That's another thing too. I hope that doesn't happen again. Morning. Kind of wish they bring that jet blower in here and clean all this up. They really need to get in here and mow the grass back some. Doesn't seem like they do a whole lot of maintenance on this. All right. So I see the parking lot up here. So this means, depending on how Strava works today, this is either 17 miles or 19 miles to here and back. Some days it's 17, some days it's 19. Don't ask me why. I don't know. All right. Whew. Big number coming up today. I'm gonna park over here in the shade of this building and enjoy myself a swig of water and take a quick break before I continue on. So anyways, back shortly. All right. So, a look at the Strava app while I had a little water. 25.1 something or other miles so far. So, if this is 9 miles back, this will be not only a huge day for me and get me out of the deficit, but this will be the longest ride I've taken on this bike. My last one was just over 30. It was like 31. Good morning.
Morning, guy.
I pushed really hard to get out here again. I think I'll take it easy going back. I don't know what my ride time is, but it can't be too bad because I rode like an hour 45 yesterday, and I didn't set the trip meter today, but it's only at 3 hours and 31 minutes. So it's probably an hour and 45 again. And my camera storage is 2 hours and something, so I might be all right. Have a good day. The RV campground's pretty empty too. See you, bud. Morning. All right, I got 40% battery left to get home on. So I should be okay. This is the only real hill to climb. And a lot of this is Feels like it's downhill for a lot of this. It's pretty much flat or downhill from here. Guess we swing by Jesse's for a second, just for the old look at the bay. See what it looks like. That Jeep's still sitting in that same spot. Either they got a manager or employee that parks in the exact same spot every single day, or that thing's been here for over a week. Looks like a fairly calm day out there on the water. Always like stopping and taking it in. The pelicans out there. Sitting on the pylons.
All right. Well, if you haven't figured it out already, when I put this song in the background, it usually means I messed up and I ran out of footage and that the video is about to come to an end. In my defense, I didn't really think I was going to ride this far today. My knees bothering me. I thought I'd only get like 20 miles in, but ends up I made it 34.35 miles. Holy Toledo, that's amazing. That's a personal best for me, by the way. It also means that we've now accumulated 176 miles for the week, and that we've only got like 123 more miles to go in the challenge. So that's pretty cool. Also, for a personal milestone, it means I'm well over 1,000 miles on the bike now. So pretty cool. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's ride. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you'll come back and watch another video. If you do, hit the subscribe button, like, share, hit the little ding-a-ling bell so that you get notified the next time I put a video up. All right. Hey, I hope you have a blessed day. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.